Good morning, everybody. Just checking if everyone's able to hear me clearly. Hey, Ren. Hey, Royan. Matej. Good stuff, man. Yamilu. Nice. Good stuff. Let me just post it in the. Let me just post in our Telegram chat that we're live. Okay. Good day, everyone. Right. Thanks for tuning in nice and early for today's session. Right. Let me just see. I got everything correct. Sound check is good. Um, Video check is good. All right. All is good. Okay. Cool stuff, man. Cool stuff. Right. Massive movement over on Friday. Right. Non-farm payroll. So a lot of stuff has shook up the markets a bit, right? And welcome back to our pre-market live analysis, right? We look at what's moving the markets, right? We have a historically pretty high hit rate in this pre-market analysis, right? And we usually focus a little bit on technicals, a little bit on fundamentals, but more on technicals. All right, so I'm already seeing a couple of really nice setups happening this week, right? So we'll be going through them. Right, for those of you guys who are joining us for the first time, welcome. All right, thank you for joining us. Right, this is the Sunday pre-market analysis brought to you by Desmond. Right, we kind of look at what to look out for when the markets open. Okay, I do have a question, guys. I do have a question. Do you guys prefer it if in timing wise for this session to be done right before the market opens or right after the market opens, like maybe half an hour after the market opens or 1 hour after the market opens, because sometimes there are price gaps here and there, right? So which do you guys prefer? Right, just give me a second. Sorry, my cat took off a cone. Right, yeah. Before the market here in UK would be better. Prefer before my after market open. Okay, pre-market is better. Okay, all right. Just want to check with you guys. Right, before market opens. It seems like more of you guys prefer the market right before the market's open. So okay, we stick to this timing. Right, just want to check because sometimes when we do the analysis and the market opens, there's a small little gap here and there. So okay, good stuff. Let's stick to this timing then. All right, now let's begin today's session. All right, disclaimer as usual. Everything in this webinar is educational in nature, so nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. So please do your own due diligence before you guys trade. All right, all right, good stuff. I think I think more people seem to vote pre-market than post-market, right? So we probably stick to pre-market first. Yeah, pre-market first. All right. There are benefits of doing it after the market's open, um, especially after the weekend, right? Because it's different from a day-to-day basis, right? Day-to-day basis is good to prepare. Post-market, especially after the weekend, right, there tends to be quite a bit of activity, right? So it's more of like market knowledge wise. The more stuff you know to take the trade, usually the better. The more recent the stuff, the better, right? But when it comes to timing wise, I agree that sometimes because we're GMT plus 8, no, as in like 8 p.m. GMT, right? So it is a pretty sweet spot for most people, especially in UK and Europe. All right, guys. Anyway, let's begin today's session. Thank you, Yaya, for tuning in. All right. Once again, remember everything in this webinar is educational nature. Nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. And let's begin our session. All right. So our agenda. All right. Just give me a second. My cat is right beside me. Right. Yeah. Our agenda for today. Right, our agenda for today is that we're going to look at the key news events, right? I'll leave the key news events to Keaton to cover, right? Keaton to cover later today, right? I'll be focusing mainly on the technical analysis of the majors and the crosses, because feedback from everyone is that we don't have enough time ever when it comes to analyzing and doing custom requests, right? So please send them through if you have questions. Like I already see a request for pound dollar, right? Let me know if there's any particular instrument you want me to look at, right? Tijani, there's I think we might be reviving the group a bit for our the IC market. We have IC Markets Telegram group. Although it is a, let me post it here. I haven't been posting much in it, mainly when we're doing the webinars, right? But I should be posting a little bit more in it over time. Okay, yeah, go check it out. It's still pretty small. No, it's not pretty. It's a pretty big group, right? Just that I don't post enough in it yet. All right. Okay, I got Aussie Frank request coming through. All right. Just to check you guys, one last thing. The audio is the video is fine, right? You guys are not noticing any lag or anything, right? Just give me a quick second, all right? Okay, all right, let's begin. All right. Anyway, for those of you guys who are wondering who I am, right? So my name is Desmond Leong. I'm external analyst here at IC Markets. Been running the webinars for, I don't know, for 2.5 years, 2.5 years or something, right? So for those of you guys who have stuck around me all the time, you know my style, right? I like to stick my neck out for many of the calls, right? I don't hold back, right? Because I think that's a true hallmark of a trader, right? As analysts, right? Is that we review, the markets, and we have to make, what's the word for it? We have to have a stand, right? Of course, disclaimer, nothing's trading advice. But at the same time, it's good to know where analyst stands, whether it's potentially bullish or potentially bearish, right? So yeah, I run the award-winning research firm, Everest Fortune Group, also the Forex Army, finalists of 2019, 2020, and 2021, best FX and best equity research. Recently got a couple of, I think almost a month back, right? Took one of those prop firm trading tests, passed it, right? This is how it looks like. Took a 100K test. It worked quite well, right? I think I passed it in there are two different phases. Yeah, two phases. So phase 1, phase 2, passed it really easily, right? My team mainly works with major financial institutions, helping them forecast where the markets are heading. But we have a special partnership with IC Markets where we bring guys good stuff, the juicy stuff, the stuff that take a trading to the next level. All right, so let's begin today's session. FB market. FB is Facebook. Yeah, FB is Facebook. I'm not sure if that's the one you're referring to. let me just give it a quick check. Yeah, FB market is not Facebook, right? Let me just check. Okay, because it's either Facebook or French buns, right, Ama? Right? Okay, it's either Facebook or French buns. But remember, we are IC markets. Do not ask about another broker when we are on when we are doing this when doing this webinar. All right, just because you have to respect that this is IC markets webinar. We don't discuss we don't discuss the I think FP is it okay, Yamil, right? Just to give you a heads up on that, we're gonna be, of course, respectful to the this current broker, IC Markets webinar. We don't discuss other brokers on this webinar. Hope you understand, right? Anyway, let's begin today's session. Okay, I rock and roll, man, rock and roll. You know my style, right? You know my style. Just need to make sure that it's correct. Okay. Let's start off with, I think an important thing to take note of is crypto, right? Especially Ethereum, right? Especially Ethereum here, right? So this is a big move that's happening on Ethereum, right? I'll share with you guys over here, right? We previously had a channel, right? Had a channel over here, right? Price was holding quite nicely below it, right? Price was holding quite nicely below it, okay? Right? No, we don't discuss about another broker, right? All right, so yeah, so price was in a little bit of a descending channel, as you can see over here, but the key move that has been broken, right? The key move that has been broken is over here. Okay, so this previously really nice resistance, right? Price finally was able to break past it, right? So I'm really fancying this as a key support level, right? If you look at where price might rise up to, right? So let me share with you the approach that I take on where price might rise up to, right? You notice there's no resistance over here, right? You're just moving your mouse, you're moving your cursor, and you're like, okay, we got a level over here, right? This is the next closest level. Usually, once I establish the next closest level, I see how far back it goes, right? To see whether I can connect it to another level, right? So in this case, right, this would be where price might rise up to, establishing the first resistance. So you notice I always work my way up like this. I start looking it up all the way until I find one, then I start stretching back, right, seeing how far back it goes. Okay, so in this case over here, right, pretty nice bit of resistance. Yeah, pretty nice bit of resistance there. So there's a decent chance that if price makes a retracement, right, we could potentially see rise all the way up to this major resistance over here. In terms of stop loss levels, right, very straightforward. This is a recent swing low. I stretch it far back to see, okay, where it can, how far back it can be stretched to, right? In this case, our second support over here. Okay, right, so this could be the potential stop loss level, right? Decent enough risk to reward, right? Could see 1 is to 2.5 or 1 is to 3 kind of risk to reward for this move all the way up there. All right, so already liking this move on Ethereum. Bitcoin, you have noticed the same thing, right? So always highlight this key level on Bitcoin, right? This key level on Bitcoin we highlighted last week. It looks like price is closing above it. Okay, it looks like price has, we can say with a degree of certainty that price has closed above it, right? So you notice that when I draw my lines, right, I don't draw my resistance over here. So people often get tempted to draw the resistance level over here, right, where the wick of the candle is, right? But I will instead, adjust it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more for you guys, right? I will adjust it so that it captures this wick and this wick. So I kind of get 3 wicks over here, right, I got 3 touch points, right? As you can see, 3 different touch points over here, right, compared to 1 touch point, right? And that usually helps increase the accuracy of your forecast of your levels. In this case, it looks like, price is just about closing above it, right? So we go down and we see, all right, how high can this go? See, this is the 3 different touch points that we have over here, right? 3 different touch points. A bit trickier to call for crypto. But if I look at the Fibonacci retracement levels, yes, you see the risk level. Whenever we draw Fibonacci retracements, right, I always share with you guys that we use it more, especially to fine tune, right? So the thing is that this move, as tempting as it is to play the move up, you notice that there's a major 61.8 retracement right at that level, right? So I'm going to highlight this entire area over here. Major Fibonacci retracement resistance, right? So we probably need to wait for price to close above this level to trigger the move up, potentially to over here as a first resistance, right? As a first resistance. In this case, this would be the second resistance, right? Second resistance, and going down to daily. Yep, the first support there here is fine. So a little bit of a difference between Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? So looks like Bitcoin's already flying up, right? So we have a bullish move on Ethereum, a little bit of a bearish. We need to wait for this level to be broken to confirm the bullish move. So I'm always very wary when we have differing views on the 2 main cryptos. You got to be a bit careful, right? Okay, that means if you are, in terms of risk allocation, if Ethereum initially looked like risking 1% on the trade, right? Maybe in this case you tweak it to risk like 0.5%. Okay, now let's go to DXY, which will form a key move we had. We thought it was going to bounce, right? So DXY didn't work out that nicely for me, right? Thought it was going to bounce. It's not bouncing, but it is triggering a major drop, right? It's triggering a major drop. This is now first resistance, right? And this is now first support, right? I'll show you guys a few things to take note of, right? Price has broken, price has broken this key level, which was previously our support, now our resistance, right? And equally importantly, right, for those of you guys who know Fibonacci, I saw someone mention about Fibonacci earlier, right? You draw Fibonacci over here and you do a 23 and 38%, right? 23 and 38%, right? You notice that price has broke the 23% Fibonacci retracement, as you can see over here, right? So that is always the first key sign, right, that we might be seeing a bigger drop. In this case, right, I'm looking for the drop to come all the way down to the 38% Fibonacci, which also lines up with a very nice a graphical support level. Now the only thing is that it'd be hard for you to play the move down all the way. You need to wait. It's kind of expensive, right? If you look at it, price is right about in the middle, right? It's right in the middle. It's halfway down. Is halfway to the support, halfway to the resistance. So ideally, if it's possible, right, wait for a little bit of a price pullback first, before playing the move down to the first support. Okay, simple enough setup, right? This would be where the second resistance is if you're considering more like stop loss levels, right? But I would be looking to play the move down on DXY. And if you're playing the move down, it means that we're playing the move up on euro dollar, right? Very nice over here, very nice move. I'm going to show you this level over here, this level over here, right? You notice again, I want to let you guys know the small little nuances, right, when it comes to picking the right level, right? Most people will pick this as the key support level, right? Most people will pick this as a key support level, right? But the problem with this is that your entry point, right, if you're waiting for price to come down again, right, your entry point is a little bit far away, right? Yeah, but it might not even come here before it bounces up. Notice, right? Notice how when I pick this level, I move it up and I use this level instead, right? And look very closely, right? Look very closely. You notice that price actually touched this level, touch all the different candles here, right? But the most is I will touch is the wicks, right? I'm looking to capture as much of the wicks as possible, right? I won't do this where I move it up into here maybe, right? It captures more candles here technically, it captures all these candles over here, right? But then it cuts the body of the candles, right? So in this case, right, I would move it over here. So this is very important. You notice how price actually reacted very nicely to these levels previously, which I highlighted, right? So in that case, right, we now have this key support, and we're looking for price to come down and make a bounce. Now, how high can it go? Right, let me just check something first. Right, nice to know that it has broken the 23% Fibonacci retracement over here, right? It could come up to 38%, right? This 38% is a pretty decent level on some regards, right? It's a pretty decent level. You can map it all the way back to here as a key level, right? But I'll probably wait for price to come down a bit before testing this, right? I would probably put this as the intermediate resistance, right? Because this would be the first resistance, and potentially, right, this being probably adding a 50% Fibonacci retracement over here. Yep, this would be my second resistance, if price comes all the way up to there. Not the best level, right? Not the best level, but definitely, it should be seeing the same thing where, it's kind of see prices hopefully come down and test here. If it breaks the first resistance, you can see it come all the way second resistance. My confidence is that, price could probably come down, price would probably test this level and come up to a first resistance again, right? Not too confident of it breaking and coming out with the second resistance. Okay, now our view on pound dollar, right? Our view on pound dollar, we are waiting for a downside confirmation over here, waiting for price to break this level to trigger a move down, which is why it's very important, guys. Remember, so a lot of the trades that I look at, right, there are market orders and there are pending orders, right? So a pending one is where you basically or rather downside confirmation, not pending order, sorry. A downside confirmation means that a level needs to be broken to trigger a move. In this case, you can see the level was here, it didn't break this level, hence it didn't trigger the move, right? But I do want to share with you guys that this joined a Fibonacci retracement from here to here, very nice 23% Fibonacci which was broken, that lines up very nicely with this key resistance turn support. Worth noting, right? Worth noting that we could be seeing a little bit, some might say it's like a little bit of a double bottom, right? Some might say it's a little bit of like a bottomish pattern, right? But it's a little bit of a bottomish pattern here, and we could be seeing a very nice rise, right? Personally, I think it could rise even all the way to here, right? Even all the way to here, right? I'm going to put the intermediate resistance over here, right? A little bit of an intermediate resistance that price needs to break through, right? Same as all moves, right? We kind of wait for prices to kind of reverse a bit, right? Reverse a bit before bouncing up this way, okay? Right, meaning that it's a bit expensive to get in now, right? Kind of wait for the pullback. You need to wait for the pullback a bit before you get in and play the bigger bounce. Okay, that's a key thing to take note of. Right, and this down here would be our second support. Right, this down here will be a second support. So yeah, I need to kind of wait for price to reverse to a little bit a cheaper level before getting in, especially on pound dollar, right? Because it's in the middle of nowhere now. You get in is very expensive. Leandro, thanks for tuning in. A little bit late, right? But better late than ever. Okay. Dollar yen. Let's go at dollar yen. We highlighted the key levels here, and now it actually reacted off this big resistance over here. We still have a big 100% Fibonacci over there, right? So, price could go all the way up there. Hey, Jake, thanks for tuning in, right? But yeah, if anything at all, right, we are seeing price react off a major resistance over here, right? Very hard for me to trade this instrument, honestly, right? It's very difficult, right? It's a little bit in the middle of nowhere. But if price were to reverse from here, we look for a reversal back down to this first support, right? It's a little bit hard to call the move. I'm not too confident of it, right? Because you're clutching at straws, right? It's just price is just shooting through the moon, shooting all the way up. So we previously got a very nice Fibonacci call correctly. 1, 2, 3. I think we called the move all the way up to here, right? But from here to here, it's a little bit hard for us to map out the Elliott wave, and what to expect, right? So we are in this case more or less just looking for potentially price to reverse down here, right? But I'm not that confident on this too. I'm not that confident on this move because it's a little bit hard to find any resistance levels anymore. Okay, now dollar franc, right, reacted below our resistance very nicely, bounced above our support very nicely. Those of you guys who got in on our support over here, you've made a good amount of money. Congratulations, right? But yeah, the key level I will be highlighting for dollar franc is this level over here, right? You need to train your eyes to be able to see the levels, right? You can see price responding many times to this resistance, right? You can see how at these key levels, it's always responding very nicely, and that's how something is a key level. Being able to accurately identify this, puts you halfway to identifying just all the good levels already. You need to be able to identify this kind of resistance and support levels. Okay, so this is established as our key resistance, key first resistance, and of course our key second resistance. You're just putting it at the recent high over here, right? This would be the key second resistance. All right, then in terms of the support level, a bit hard to call the support level. Hey Joey, good stuff. All right, thanks for tuning in. Yamil, you got to stop mentioning other broker names here. If not, I gotta remove you from the webinar if you've been here for a long time. So I don't want to remove you, okay? So please stop talking about any other brokers over here. Right, we're on IC markets webinar, so we stick to IC markets and discussions on IC markets, okay? All right, so you got to work with me here, okay, guys? Now, anyway, moving on, right? This will be the key support level over here, right? This will be key support level over here, right? Major support level down here. Maybe you could stretch it. You could stretch it back to here, right? As a support level. Sheikh El Meow. Sigma guy. Who is a Sigma guy from Kazakhstan, right? Yeah, I have no idea who he is, right? So don't worry, no offense taken, right? Yeah, no idea who he is. Okay, yeah. So this would be the 50% Fibonacci. They see, notice price is kind of responding quite hard. So important thing to take note of, right, is that if we're expecting price to be bullish, ultimately to be bullish on euro dollar, right, then technically we should be expecting price to be bearish on dollar franc, right, because they are negatively correlated. When one is rising, one should be dropping, right? And dollar franc has a strong positive correlation with DXY, dollar index. I'm just going to show you how it looks like. Positive correlation, right? I'm going to throw up DXY over here, the dollar index. You notice how price tends to move quite closely, right? The movements in price, right? When one goes up, one goes down, right? You can see One goes up, one goes down, one goes up, one goes down. This one goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. All right. This one goes all the way up. This one goes all the way up. Right. So okay, there you go. Sheikh, thanks, but I think your questions are directed at the wrong place, right? Your questions are directed at the wrong place. This is an IC Markets webinar. IC Markets are the biggest companies in the world, so you might be at the wrong webinar, right? If you're looking for to invest in companies, right? I think that would be more there'll be less FX, right? There'll be less FX, more stocks, all right? So take note of that. Okay, yeah, so we kind of be looking for, if we're expecting DXY to drop a bit more, right? Jake, nice to know that you got into that trade. So it should be, looking for price to kind of rise up, then maybe drop all the way down, right? The movement on dollar franc is not as nice as the movement on DXY, right? DXY breakouts a lot clearer, right? Euro dollar breakouts a lot clearer. Gold, pound dollar is a lot clearer, but personally for me, dollar franc, I don't really like it to it's the breakout isn't as clear to me, right? There hasn't technically been a nice breakout, right? So key consideration between the three of them, right? You have to consider this, DXY, euro dollar, pound dollar, and dollar franc, this very strong 88.5, maybe 88.5, this okay, good level, I guess, right? If you mean like down here, this overlap, we could call it, Jake, it's a good level. I would need to highlight this area though. I would probably need to highlight this entire area over here instead, right? As the key support level because of this recent swing low, right? So this would probably be like the support level, okay? All right, so this would be the key support for dollar franc, right? If it were to come all the way down to here, it's a decent overlap. I gotta give it to you, right? It's a decent overlap that you identified over here. I hope that means you're getting the good trades, okay? But yeah, I think pound dollar is the clearest, right? Why I like pound dollar is the closest to the pullback level where it can maybe trigger a move up with partial profits here. And if it comes down to here, you can bet, personally, I'll be looking at to get in on the setup. All right. Dollar CAD worked out very nicely for us. We're looking for price to kind of reverse from here, right? If you remember, guys, I called this one of the key moves from last week for a reversal from here. Price has dropped very nicely. So you should be swimming in pips, so to speak, right? Making a good amount of money. Okay, so you got in on this reversal here, which I highlighted last week, right? You should be in a pretty good state, your account. Okay, so this would be the resistance level, right? Guys, notice that I did not put the resistance up here, right? I didn't put the resistance up here. I didn't just put the resistance here. I kind of picked the level which was able to kind of coincide with most of the resistance, most of the candle wicks, right? So very nice reversal from here, right? Now the problem is getting a support level. A little bit hard to find a support level, honestly. This isn't that great a support. This is a nicer support, but it's pretty far away, right? It's pretty far away, right? I do like that. I do like that there's a little bit of a channel, maybe. I lagging behind, right? I think you joined the session a little bit late, right? No worries, right? A bit tricky to call this move, right? If I were to try to fine tune a channel, right? Got a little bit of a bullish channel over here, right? Which kind of throws everything out of whack, right? Yeah, I mean, this is a channel, right? At most, you can look for a little bit of a bounce from here and for price to kind of revisit this level again. But I personally am not that confident. I like channels, but I don't use them as like entry points, right? I use channels as a gauge of momentum, right? I don't use channels as entry points because there's too much subjectivity when it comes to channels, okay? So that means theoretically, right, there's only one key support level over here, right? Theoretically, there's only one key support level over here, right? Which is over here, which is not enough for us to confidently call a move, right? So I will highlight the resistance here, the support here, and the second support here, right? But I'm not that confident that price will make a bounce from here. But if it breaks, right? If it breaks this first support, I would like to see it drop all the way to this strong magnetic second support level. Very, very nice second support level, which I think it could drop down to. But you know, we kind of need to watch these levels first. If it breaks this first support, it kind of means that it broke the ascending channel and it broke this little support level over here. So it's a bit of a nice trigger for price to drop down to second support. Okay, so take note that that will be the move I'm looking at. Dollar CAD, Aussie dollar, man. If we're expecting DXY to weaken, right, a bit tricky. I personally, right, like this move, right. Sorry. I personally like this move, right. I'm looking at this as the first support, right, down here as the second support, right, and nice over here as the first resistance. Now, what I need to establish is what is happening on Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar looks like it might it didn't work out that nicely. I thought we were going to go for a longer ride down, but Kiwi dollar, which is negatively correlated, right, with Aussie dollar, this would be the key resistance on Kiwi dollar. Right, this would be the key resistance. A little bit more upside before reversal. Aussie dollar is right on the key resistance. Man, very tricky move. Very tricky move. It depends on how this thing closes, right? If you see price hesitating a little bit over here, I would really like to see a nice reversal all the way down, right? It looks like a very nice setup to me if it reverses from there, right? Kiwi dollar is in the kind of in the middle of nowhere, right? On one hand, there's a little bit of like an intermediate resistance over here, right? On another hand, you know, the bigger resistance is all the way up to here, right? So it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, right? But I do recognize that the big resistance is here and the intermediate resistance is over here, right? So we could potentially, right, see I'm looking for bearishness below here, for prices to drop all the way, right, to this first support level down here. Okay, I'm looking for a little bit of like bearishness from here to reverse down. Okay, right, probably to here, right, which means that for Aussie dollar, right, ideally, right, price reversing from here is good, but you need to look at this, right? If price closes and remains above the first resistance, right, that means we could see prices actually work its way up to second resistance before reversing down. Okay, so you need to watch this level very closely, especially when the market opens, and see what happens. If it continues to hold above the first resistance, right, then you kind of wait for price to go to second resistance first. But if it starts reversing from there, you know, you can play the move down, right, and it'll be the same move down on Kiwi dollar, right, and back down to first support. I'll be definitely eyeing these few instruments. Okay, we are on WTI, right? Not much movements on WTI, right? This remains, right, the key level, the key support level, right? Just that it's becoming a support area instead of a support level now because of the way price is responding to this. I do think, right, the way it's behaving, right, we could see, you know, we could see a little bit of a further drop on oil, right, all the way down to here, right, more because of what is happening. You can see price reversing below this level, right? So I will continue to keep my bearish bias, right? This would remain as our first resistance, right, and this would be our first support level, right? So kind of look for prices to inch down back to the first support, and if it breaks the level, this would be the second support level that it might drop all the way down to. Okay, so first resistance, first support, and second support. Okay, that'll be the key view that we're looking at for WTI, right? I know some people requested for gold too, right? My view on gold remains the same. If you got in, congratulations, right? You've got in on a very, very nice level. Remember last week I highlighted that this would be the key support level, right? Price was from up here, right? This was the pre-market. It dropped down to the support level and it's bouncing up nicely, right? So if you got in on that forecast, right, you should be on a pretty good, I would say, you should be you should be positive now, right? Looking for prices to rise up and test the 2048 key resistance level, right? That still remains our key move. Okay, notice that this level, how I picked it, how was I able to pick this level, right? You have to pick this level, draw it further back, and the further back you can draw it, the more times it actually cuts the wick of lines, right, the better it ideally performs, right? So it actually managed to cut the wicks all the way to here, which was how we managed to identify this really, really nice key support, right? Yes, we do have time for gold rand, right? You might be watching my delayed, 10 minutes delayed or something, right? Because we are covering gold right now, okay? And we're looking for price to make a nice little bounce, right? For price to make a nice little bounce all the way up to there with potential stop loss level all the way down here, okay? So this is the view on gold. Aussie franc. Let me take a look at Aussie franc after I look at the key indices. Okay, Dow Jones, DJ30, I really like the resistance level is testing right about here. Okay, a very nice resistance level. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be a 5 wave. Could be a little bit of a 5 wave down. And price is testing the key 50% retracement. Okay, I do like this level, right? We might be able to see a nice little reversal from here. How low can it go? I'm not too sure yet. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a resistance, right? So we could be seeing a bit of a resistance over here, right, to see prices drop down. Personally, because the move is too far away, I would probably just look at it to drop to maybe the 38% Fibonacci, right? Don't need to play the move too far away, right? This would be the key support that it drops down to. And of course, in terms of the stop loss level, if you're looking at here, right, if you look 61.8 retracement over here, this could be the second resistance level, okay, right? So yeah, we could potentially see a short-term reversal on Dow Jones, right, DG30 down to the first support, okay. The DAX, which a lot of people looks at too, I would highlight this as the key resistance level I'm looking for. I would sell, personally I'd be looking to sell if prices reaches this key resistance level, right? It also happens to be a 50% retracement, if you notice, right? But in terms of my stop loss, right, the second resistance that we can use, maybe 78 is a bit far, right? Maybe more in terms of this could be a potential second resistance, right? And if you want to play it, the move much further down, you can play it all the way down to here. This is the key support level, right? This is a slightly longer term move, right? If you want to play the move from here all the way down to here, right? It's going to take a couple of weeks, 1 or 2 weeks for this DJ30 move to work itself out. I mean DAX move. S&P 500. So you notice on the S&P 500, how we do have a little bit of a same overlap resistance that we notice on the DJ30, just that it's not as clear, right? This would be the resistance level that we're looking at for S&P 500 with a potential major resistance over there. Could be looking for a short-term reversal on this too, on S&P 500, right? Not too confident of calling it too far down. I think this entire move is 50% and 61.8, right? So got 50 and 61.8, slightly above the 61.8 over here. Okay, so probably play a small little move down. Same thing, playing the move down to the 38%. Or if you want, 50% might be fine too. Would be enough already. Right, not too confident to call the move too far away because I cannot find a key support level that's close enough, right, to price. Okay, so this will be the move on S&P 500. Not much of a move on Nasdaq, so I'm going to skip over it, right? Let me go to Aussie franc, right? Let me go to Aussie franc, right? Thank you, Signal, Mark, right? There was a request for Aussie franc, right? Those of you who managed to get the move all the way down, congratulations, right? Now for Aussie franc, key resistance level, right? If it reaches back up to there, decent chance to actually get in on the trade again, right? Yeah, decent chance to kind of sell from here, right, to play the move down, right? It looks like price is just about reaching there, right? If I'm not wrong, it'll be a similar 100% Fibonacci projection, right? So the 100 Fibonacci projection would be just about where the height of this first resistance area is. Okay, so I'll ideally kind of be looking to sell from there. Let me see if well, technically you can put your stop loss at a bit hard to find the stop loss levels for this, right? Probably put the stop loss level more towards like over here, just above the 61.8 retracement, right? That could probably be the stop loss level that we're looking at. And if we play a move down, I'm not so confident that price will come all the way down here again, right? But you could play it to that level, right? Alternatively, you can play it maybe to somewhere in between, right? Should be good enough, right? But yeah, it could I'm not too confident that you reverse all the way down here. Maybe you want to play a shorter term move, right? If it's over there, play it down to 61.8 might be good enough. You don't need to play it all the way down to the key support level again, right? Playing it down to here would be probably just about enough. Okay, now we got Euro Yen, right? Kiwi franc. Kiwi franc would kind of be the same, I guess. The overlap would be over here. The overlap isn't as clear. All right, the overlap isn't as clear, I guess. Yeah, probably looking more like at this level over here for the key overlap, right? For price to reverse from, right? But the move isn't as clear, right? The move isn't as clear as Aussie franc. So if you have to choose between Kiwi franc or Aussie franc, I think Aussie franc has a slightly clearer move, right? But yeah, you might play the reversal from here with the second resistance all the way up to here, right? And play maybe a 38 or 60. My preference is usually playing to the 38, right? 38% retracement would be good enough to kind of play a smaller move down, right? 50% is theoretically not a Fibonacci level, right? So I like to look at 23 and 38% as the level. So maybe you kind of place a reversal from or for gold, right? Could be because of the spread, but yeah, it's positive slippage maybe. Positive slippage in your technically not in your favor, right? Because if you put a sell limit order at $2,000, right? If you have a sell limit order at 2,000, right, and if you got filled at 199.95, it could be a little bit of negative slippage against you, right? So yeah, it's sometimes it works for you, sometimes it works against you. Okay. Euro yen, it broke a key level, key resistance level. I'm not even going to look at it. I don't know how to look at Euro yen, right? Euro pound, right? What I like about Euro pound is it has broken this key overlap, right? So we are now looking to buy, right? So if you can, right? I like this overlap over here, which price has broken, right? So ideally be looking to kind of buy now, right? Of course, not trading advice. It's my own forecast, right? So please don't take this as like personal trading advice. But we're looking to play the move up, right? Just up to there. It should be enough, right? It should be enough, with the second support being all the way down here, right? So this could be a second support if you want to play this pound yen move. Okay, euro pound. Remember I told you guys last week it'll be one of the key calls of the week, right? If you got in on this, congratulations, you've made a good amount of money. I highlighted the divergence that was happening, right? I highlighted a very nice resistance, overlap resistance over here. Highlighted the key overlap over here has to be broken, and it all reversed very nicely, right? So you should be making a good amount of money on this trade, guys, right? This was our call of the week last week, right? So I mentioned that I'm in this trade myself, so yeah, it's really nice setup, really nice trade. Now the only risk level is that price is just about reaching this ascending support level. I can't make a call on this trade now because the trade has already worked out. There's no key level for me to call now, except that if price manages to kind of make a pullback, right, make a pullback to here, then you'll be in, you could potentially get in on strength and play the further move down to first support. Okay, that should be the it won't be my call of the week, but yeah, it's definitely call of the week last week. So very important for you to have got in on a good level. Okay, anyway, we've covered everything that we usually covered, right? Thank you for sticking throughout today's session, guys. Really appreciate it, right? If you can help me smash that thumbs up button, right? The YouTube algorithm, I really likes it. Otherwise, guys, catch, I think it's either Keaton or Peggy in the next 12 and a half hours, right? Where they do the live market analysis, right? Looking at more of the key news events and maybe the shorter term technical setups, all right, for the week. Okay. Thank you. Stay safe, trade safe. Peace out, guys. Thanks for staying throughout today's thanks for staying and watching, right, guys? Really appreciate it. Okay, call of the week, right? I think a few to look out for would be, one of it would be Aussie dollar. Please watch Aussie dollar with a caveat that you need to watch how price is going to behave over here first. So wait for market to open and see how price reacts to this. And pound dollar, right? I really like pound dollar, right? At the pullback, wait for the price to work itself out, right? So and if you can, right, gold, right, pretty decent level, right? Hopefully you can see price rise all the way up to there. So really couple of nice moves that we're looking at for the week. Okay, no worries, guys, no worries. Right, that's it for me. Stay safe, trade safe, peace out, guys. Thank you, Leandro. Thank you, Yamil, right? PMGB, right? It's been nice having you guys, right? Trade safe for the week. Bye bye. No worries, guys. Thank you.